Welcome into OutKick the Show, Friday edition. What a day. OutKick driving the news every direction you look in the world of sports. This is what domination looks like. We continue to rack up a ton of OutKick VIP members. This will probably be the final ad I can do saying this. But if you sign up by Saturday, you can get an autographed copy of my book as a part of becoming an OutKick VIP member. Go to OutKick.com. If you love everything that we're doing, we'll give you a VIP message board. Get the right to comment on our articles. You get the right to call into the radio show. We open up phone lines. And for a very, very limited time, you get an autographed copy of my book. They're almost sold out everywhere. So I called the publisher the other day. I said, can I get more copies of my book? They said, we don't have any. And so they said we can go back to the publisher. So in the meantime, we got a lot to get to. All right, I'm going to dive right into the biggest story of the day, and it is this. Missouri Senator Josh Hawley this morning sent a letter to the NBA. That letter was 100% a valid letter. It was asking the question, why is the NBA making political statements on their jerseys when they will not allow any players, GMs, or owners to point out the fact that China is a dictatorship and they're happy to take billions of dollars from China and bend the knee to that country? Can you put free Hong Kong on the back of your NBA jersey? Can you put human rights in China on the back of your NBA jersey? Or can you only criticize American-related institutions as comments on your jersey? It's an eminently fair question. Why are you comfortable with the NBA choosing what players can put on their jerseys, making political statements, and restricting the statements that people can make, like what happened when Daryl Morey tweeted out free Hong Kong, and the NBA players and coaches either said nothing or, like LeBron James, they ended up saying, well, the First Amendment's not always a good thing, right? Because that's what LeBron James said. So Missouri Senator Josh Hawley, who is a super smart dude, by the way, Stanford grad as well as a Yale law grad, kind of a big deal. He tweets out, he sends that letter out, and as commonplace when you are making news, he also attached that letter to a bunch of other media-related emails for people who cover the NBA, thinking, hey, you might want to know that a United States senator is actually coming out and talking about the league that you cover. You might want to actually do it. All right, you might want to actually know. Woj immediately responds from his ESPN email address, fuck you. All right, that's it. That was the entire email. Think about this now for a minute. Woj supposedly covers the NBA from an independent fashion. He is paid by ESPN, not by the NBA, to cover the league. He is paid to cover the league. His job is to cover all of the controversies surrounding the league, including, and perhaps most importantly, the NBA bending the knee to China. And a United States senator sends a letter to the NBA, which is a massive news story, requesting that Adam Silver respond to his questions about the NBA relationship with China and why there were no criticisms of China allowed on NBA jerseys that are making political statements. He called the NBA on their woke BS hypocrisy. He tagged Adrian Wojnarowski in that message, and Adrian Wojnarowski's initial immediate response was not to say, oh, this is a story, we're going to cover it. It was to respond to a Republican senator and say, fuck you. This is what I've been saying, brought to bear in two words. ESPN is a far left-wing news, media, and organization, period. That's why I've been calling them MSESPN for years. ESPN, Woj has apologized, by the way, and MSESPN, their Politburo, put out a statement saying, well, they were inappropriate. He shouldn't have done that. No consequences. All in 2 words, ESPN summed up what I have been telling you for several years. This is not a transparent and fair news organization. This is a far left-wing organization intending to put far left-wing political ideals in front of its audience. There is no balance. There is no evenness. There is no equality. All right? That isn't in existence in ESPN's coverage. And I want you to think about this. Is there any point in time where an ESPN employee would respond to Barack Obama, to the White House, if they sent a newsletter out to them where all they would have to do is apologize? That employee would have been immediately fired if they had responded via email from an ESPN email address, fuck you, to anything that the Obama White House sent out. If AOC put out an email release involving the NBA and Woj's first response was, fuck you, that person would get fired too. I don't want anybody to get fired. I don't want anybody to get fired because I don't believe in cancel culture. I don't even want anybody to have to apologize, because why should you apologize for what you actually believe? Woj is entitled to his own political opinions, just like you are and just like I am. The bigger issue here is you've got an ESPN employee who's in charge of covering the league, that when the league is called to account for its blatant hypocrisy on politics as it pertains to China, his first response is not to cover it, to cover this issue at all. It is to immediately say fuck you to a United States senator. This is a huge story, monstrous story, that a U.S. senator asking questions about the relationship between an American sports league and a communist dictatorship that is paying it billions of dollars. The first response of a media member that covers that league is not to cover the story objectively, write about it, research it, look into all the evidence. It is to immediately say, fuck you, to a duly elected senator in the United States. This, my friends, is why ESPN is broken. It is woke center writ large. It is MSESPN. If you have anything other than far left political leanings, you should never be watching this channel. You should never be spending any money with them. ESPN can go ahead and they can serve the 25 or 30% of people who are desperately woke on Twitter all day long, arguing for all sorts of stupid things like defunding the police. My base is the country. The 75% of you who have not lost your minds. The 75% of you who, if somebody has a different opinion than you, your immediate response to them via email from your corporate email account is not fuck you. ESPN should be ashamed. They should be utterly embarrassed, and Woj should be humiliated for demonstrating that he is an NBA bootlicker, and that's all he does. Lick the NBA's boots all day. How spit shine do you want it, Adam Silver? How much do you want me to spit on your boots? How hard do you want me to lick today? That's what he does. He is paid by the NBA to cover that league, and he is worthless when it comes to his objectivity. That is what that response shows us beyond a shadow of a doubt. Because any journalist who is worth his salt, when a story like that went out, they would be like, wow, this is a big deal. A United States senator is pointing out all the hypocrisy of the NBA right now. And instead, Woj got on his knees right in front of Adam Silver and he said, hey, how clean do you want your shoes? How much do I need to spit on your shoes to make them shine? That's Woj right now. That's the NBA media, period. And that's ESPN as well. How spick and span do you need your shoes? Because we got everybody on our knees spicking and spanning away. They aren't covering news. They aren't being objective. They aren't in any way an honest opinion news source anymore. They are an arm of the leagues that they cover, and this email proves it beyond a shadow of a doubt, and so does the MSESPN Politburo's response. If you had that response happening when Barack Obama was in office, that person would have been fired immediately. There ain't an equality of treatment at all. At all. Kurt Schilling gets fired for saying he doesn't think trans men should be able to go into bathrooms on Facebook. Woj gets a sternly worded email when he tells a United States senator asking questions about the NBA's relationship with China, fuck you. ESPN is fundamentally broken. If you've been watching this station, you know that it's true. They don't have actual debates. They don't have actual arguments. They are an arm of the far left-wing social justice warrior argument, which is fundamentally broken. All right? And speaking of fundamentally broken, do you remember Malcolm Jenkins, Mr. Crying, when Drew Brees said he was going to stand for the national anthem? The head of the Players Coalition, Malcolm Jenkins, oh, this man had a different opinion than me. I'm going to get on Instagram and I'm going to cry. How dare he say that he's going to stand for the national anthem and reference his two grandfathers who fought against Nazis? How dare he get on and say that he's going to stand for the national anthem? Oh, my tears are coming down my cheeks. I'm a grown man and somebody had a different opinion than me and I am crying. Oh my God, how could you do this, Drew Brees? How could you stand for the national anthem? How could you show respect for your grandfathers who fought actual Nazis? Don't you understand? I'm pretending to fight Nazis every day that I make up in my head on social media. Malcolm Jenkins, tears screaming down his face. Malcolm Jenkins hasn't said anything all week about DeSean Jackson. DeSean Jackson's anti-Semitic comments suggesting that Hitler was right. Malcolm Jenkins doesn't say anything. On Friday, Malcolm Jenkins finally sits down in front of his computer. And do you know what Malcolm Jenkins says on Instagram? He says, Jewish people aren't our problem. They are distracting from our purpose, which is Black Lives Mattering. Hold up a minute. You told us that silence was violence. You told us that silence was complicity. One of your colleagues in the NFL just shared an anti-Semitic opinion far and wide, and you said, let me look at this again. Jewish people aren't our problem. Excuse me? Jewish people didn't do anything. They were attacked by one of your colleagues in the NFL. Maybe I'm mistaken, but it seems to me that anti-Semitism has been a problem for thousands of years. What your colleague in the NFL shared was the same stereotypes that fed the Holocaust. It is the same stereotypes that has fed anti-Semitism throughout history. And you're saying Jewish people aren't your problem and they are a distraction from the things you really care about? I'm sorry, the NFL's social justice warriordom and the NBA's social justice warriordom both went up in flames today. Because what you found out is people don't care about truth and justice. They don't care about trying to make the world a better place. They want somebody to blame. And if it requires you to look internally at all and cast any blame in the direction of anybody who looks anything like you, it's a distraction. Can you imagine if a white player in the NBA, in the middle of the Black Lives Matter movement, had come out and said, hey, you know what? This whole Black Lives Matter movement is a big distraction, I think. That player would have gotten run out of the league. Drew Brees had to apologize more for saying he stands for the national anthem than DeSean Jackson had to apologize for sharing anti-Semitic opinions. Think about that for a minute. NFL players were more offended by Drew Brees standing to support his grandfather who fought Nazis than they were by DeSean Jackson's anti-Semitism. And Malcolm Jenkins, who's supposed to be the voice of reason, who NFL owners have given tens of millions of dollars to, his opinion is that Jewish issues are a distraction because Jewish people aren't black people's problem. This is so insanely hypocritical and stupid that it should be the number one story everywhere in sports, except for right behind Woj's comments. In one fell swoop of an afternoon and morning, everything that has been going on, the charge of the woke brigade got absolutely flattened because you saw that they were hypocritical chumps. When push came to shove, this was a complete collapse. Everyone at ESPN who has in any way allowed Woj and the culture that he represented when he said fuck you to a United States senator from his email address at ESPN should be ashamed. Every single person who has in any way given money to Malcolm Jenkins and allowed him to attain any measure of power, including CNN who employs him, should be ashamed. What you are seeing is these guys are 100% complete and total shills. They are untrustworthy. Now, you don't have to like me. You don't even have to love me. The truth of the matter is this: I am and always will be 100% honest with you. You may not agree with every opinion that I share. You may not agree with any of the opinions that I share. But unlike so many other people in media who are fake as fake can be and are hypocrites like hypocrites have never been before, I'm telling you right now, I will always be 100% honest with you. That is rare in media. And we will always be 100% honest with you at OutKick, which is why our audience is exploding, because authenticity is rare. I don't expect you to agree with me on every single issue. I don't expect for you to believe that I am the most brilliant man on the planet. What I do expect is that over time, as our audience has grown, many of you have come to realize that there is 100% authenticity behind what I say. And when I 100% authentically tell you this, I will answer any question. I will tell you everything that I believe, the same way on this broadcast with Facebook and Periscope, the same way on my television show, the same way on my radio show, or on my website. I am going to tell you 100% what I believe. And I'm not going to run from it, and I'm not going to apologize. But I will be the exact same person in public on these forums as I would be if you saw me at a bar. How many other people in sports media can say the same? How many other people in media, period, can say the same? ESPN showed you what they were today. They showed you what they are. When someone shows you what they are, believe them. Adrian Wojnarowski, in a private email, he's a far left-wing liberal. He said, fuck you to Josh Hawley, a senator from Missouri, for asking a very legitimate question. You saw today Malcolm Jenkins say he doesn't care about anti-Semitism because it distracts from the things that he does care about. Well, shame on you, Malcolm Jenkins. I thought you actually cared about racial justice for everyone, not just for yourself. I thought you actually cared about trying to erase hate from the country, not just about showing up and crying when Drew Brees stands for the national anthem. You are a fraud, a fraudulent, hypocrite liar, Malcolm Jenkins. Say what you will about Woj. I think he was an idiot for sending that message. He showed you what he was. And ESPN showed you what they are by the way that they responded. All of this is 100% accurate, and I am 100% honest with you every single day. All right, there's also more stupidity I want to get to. The Big Ten is filled with idiots. There's no rational basis whatsoever right now to be canceling non-conference football games. Zero. The only rational basis to cancel non-conference football games is if you believe Either there are health issues or there are travel issues. There are neither. There are neither health issues nor travel issues. If there are health issues in non-conference games, they should be expanded upon. If you are less likely to get the virus playing against non-conference opponents, then that is an indictment of the health conditions that those other players are playing under. There is no indication that I have seen for why Iowa and Iowa State shouldn't be able to play in the state of Iowa when they're traveling back and forth to the game by a bus, and why in the world Nebraska can travel all the way across the country to play against Rutgers. There is no legitimate justification for canceling non-conference college football games. Zero. This is a move made by idiots in the Big Ten to placate idiots in the media who don't understand basic issues as it pertains to the coronavirus. It makes no sense why it would be safe to play conference games and not play non-conference games. In fact, it's 100% safe. You are more likely, if you are a college kid playing athletics, to die of the flu. You are more likely to die driving to campus than you are to die of the coronavirus. That's for all college kids, athletes included, and also people out there in the woke media, the coronabros in the media who are like, oh my God, what if somebody dies playing college football? Somebody could die not playing college football. Nobody ever points out the absurdity of that argument. College kids who are playing athletics are safer on their campus than they would be if they're off campus. What do I mean by that? They have access to doctors. They're being tested every day. If you believe a college kid is going to die of the coronavirus, they're actually less likely to die on a college campus where they have medical treatment every day than they are staying in an apartment or a condo or a house off of campus. This is not in any way a difficult solution. This is insanely easy. There is less danger to college football players on a college campus than there is off of a college campus. The data is clear. There's almost a 0% chance of anybody dying who is college aged. Almost a 0% chance of anybody dying who is playing college football. But if you are going to get sick, the best place to be treated is on a college campus where they have tons of medical professionals. If you actually get the virus, as many players have, none of them are being hospitalized. They either have no symptoms or it's like a cold. I don't understand why the idiots in the Big Ten are being supported by the idiots in the college Corona Bro media, and nobody out there is willing to actually look at the data. This is insanely easy. This isn't a challenge. This isn't remotely difficult. The data is straightforward. This is an easy solution. All right? There are no challenges at all associated with this. Drives me crazy. And by the way, if you are out there and you are a parent and you don't want your kids in school this fall, you are an idiot. Because all of the data reflects that your son or daughter is far more likely to die of the flu, and schools never get shut down for the flu. And if you really care about equality, the kids who are not going to have computers and the kids who are not going to have functional Wi-Fi at home, they are all going to fall further behind from the kids who do have Wi-Fi and do have computers at home. Potentially with 2 years of elementary school missed, falling behind in a way that they will never, ever be able to catch up again, ever. They also do not in any way act as substantial vectors for transmission of the disease, meaning teachers are highly unlikely to get sick from students. They get free lunches, they get breakfast, they get noticed if they're being beaten up or abused at home. All of these things are reasons why 67,000 pediatricians said kids need to be back in school. Do you know how conservative pediatricians tend to be when it comes to treating children? This is something insanely easy to follow. Get your kids back in school. If you are a politician and you're not in favor of kids being back in school, you are an imbecile who doesn't deserve to actually have office. Needs to happen now. Needs to happen immediately. Coronavirus update. Coronavirus. Everybody's like, oh my God, the deaths are going to skyrocket. Everybody's going to die in Florida. Everybody's going to die in California. Everybody's going to die in Arizona. Everybody's going to die in Texas. It ain't happening. Death rate's going up a little bit, but the overall case number is skyrocketing. Reason why hardly anybody's dying? Because these politicians in those states, by and large, aren't making the mistake that Andrew Cuomo did. They're not sending sick people into any place at all where they're in danger, i.e. nursing homes. If Andrew Cuomo wasn't an imbecile and hadn't sent all the sick patients back into nursing homes, the coronavirus death rate in New York and in Connecticut and in New Jersey and in Michigan and in Illinois and in Minnesota and in Pennsylvania, all the different idiot governors who followed his lead, the death rate would be a fraction of what it is today. The worst decision by far that has been made by any elected official in the entire country was made straightforwardly and easily by the decision that Andrew Cuomo made to send patients back into nursing homes. That's what led to massive death rates in New Jersey and New York and Connecticut and Michigan and Illinois and Pennsylvania, as long as the governors of Florida and Texas and Arizona don't lose their mind and start sending sick patients back into nursing homes, then the death rate is never going to approach what already happened. Much to the chagrin of a lot of people out there that are rooting for more people to die. It's crazy. The coronabros are like, more people need to die. They're sad that the death rate is not changing very much. I love all of you. My name is Clay Travis. I love the audience that we are seeing have explosive growth. Thank you for all of you for listening, for sharing this show, for blowing OutKick up into a massive media entity. If you want to take the next step in our relationship, go become a VIP. We're going to start hiring like crazy, and look out if you are a Corona Bro or you're a member of the Woke Center fraternity, because we are going to come for you. We ain't bowing down. We ain't kneeling. We're not licking boots. We are bringing the truth and slinging it on these Twitter streets every single day. I love all of you. My name is Clay Travis. This has been OutKick the Show. DBAP unless you need to SBAP. Share this show. Share it with your friends. I appreciate all of you. And I hope you have fantastic weekends. Go out, go forth, and prosper. See you guys. Love you. Thank you, Facebook. See y'all.